Hello. Tammy Brown is the best impersonator of Tina Turner in drag. I'm here to review the second episode of All Stars Season 1. If you're new to my channel, first of all, hello, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. Secondly, so basically, I have notes this time because the first episode was very much a rant and I felt like it was sloppy. So we're going to get organized and we're going to get this together, okay? The second episode starts with, girls in the workroom. Um, so Team Shad says, well, Chanel says that they shouldn't have been in the bottom, even though they both said they shouldn't have been. Pretty much, they both agree that they shouldn't have been in the bottom. I don't. I think they should have been in the bottom because even though they looked opposite in their opposite track photo, it didn't read what they wanted it to read. Chad has this issue back then. I don't know if he still does this now. I'm gonna check actually. So episode 3, I'll be saying if he does or does not still do this, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But the colored leggings is my issue because last episode, if he didn't have the color leggings and if Chanel's dress was normal one solid color, it would probably sold the idea more. Also, I just feel like, they should have been in the bottom. So, everyone starts talking about how Mimi shouldn't have been here for All Stars and that Mimi's not an All Star. Obviously, they talked about this in Untucked as well, of the first episode. I actually disagree. I think Mimi, well, first of all, they were supposed to have Willem. So I think Mimi was a good all star candidate because she is someone that when you think of Drag Race, she is more remembered than a lot other girls. Even though she's remembered for all the wrong reasons, at least she's remembered. A lot of girls aren't even remembered enough to where you drop their name and people's like, what season are they on? So, you know? And I just think I don't agree with it. So, and Raven was really harping on it too, which I kind of like, I guess Raven has a problem with her, whatever, whatever. I get it, but I just felt like she should. Maybe she shouldn't have been on All Stars 1, but I think she is an All Star. Juju B said something that I agree with personally, that Pandora gave up that whole episode, and that was part of the reason why they went home. Because everyone agreed that their team would have worked really, really well if Pandora probably didn't give up and be like, well, I have Mimi, so this is going to be terrible. So, the mini challenge is this challenge where you have to guess what your partner says, and obviously Raven and Jujubee does really well and wins the challenge because they're one of the only queens that sets of queens that knew each other not only out of All Stars 1, but they met each other on the season and became really, really close. So kind of made sense. In this, there was a little bit of foreshadowing kind of showing, and they've been kind of doing this in the first 2 episodes, that Manila is kind of insecure about her partnership with Latrice, which I kind of understood a little bit, except for the fact that you were the one who chose them, chose each other together, but Latrice didn't want you in the beginning. So maybe that also kind of had an issue with it. But Manila was very insecure because Manila felt like Latrice was kind of taking the chill. Like, you can tell that Latrice was very chill vibes. Like, we're going to have fun and enjoy their time there. And then Manila was more worried about the competition and trying to make it to the top. Not saying that that was bad. Any of those were bad. So, if you see me look over here, that's because my notes are over here. So, I'll be looking sometimes. So there is the main challenge. It's kind of Snatch Gamey. It's pretty much All Stars 1 version of Snatch Game. I think they should probably figure out a way to do this Snatch Game again, but for individuals, because I think like the joke wall was pretty funny, or like the party scene was kind of, the club scene was funny. Basically, they have to do three things. It's the ball, the little, not ball, but the club and the wall, and they had to do a segment with Rue. So basically, everyone that's playing, Team Rujubi, Jujubee was Fran, and Raven was being Arthur. Latrice was Oprah, and Manila was Madonna. Um, Tammy Brown was Tammy Faye Baker, and um, Nina Flowers was La Lupe. Yara Sophia was Charo, and Alexis was Shakira, and then Chanel was Lucy Ball, and Chad was Betty Davis. Um, First of all, if I'm not mistaken, I know for a fact off the top of my head, no one's done Oprah for Snatch Game, and I think someone should probably try to do that. And I've never seen anyone do Madonna. If I'm not mistaken, comment down below, clock me if I'm wrong. Um, I'll be watching the earlier seasons again too, so I'll see again. But I'm pretty sure no one did Madonna. I feel like that would be interesting. So they talk about the three parts, and everyone's going through trying to get their thing. And they kind of show Rouge be a little bit struggling, like trying to figure out what's funny, what's not funny. So Rue goes around and gives everyone insecurities because he tells Manila that her Madonna's not funny. He mistakes Latrice for Paula Deen, which kind of made sense because I was like, I didn't even know that Oprah. Well, I don't know Oprah that well for me to know stuff about Oprah, but I didn't know Oprah liked fried butter either. Also, also that's because in this time now she's working with Weight Watchers, so maybe that's how she probably transitioned. Um, Yarlexis has a language barrier issue that is very prevalent in this episode, and probably is going to be prevalent again in this season. I feel like it's kind of unfair for them to put that on them, per se, because I feel like if that's such an issue, you should have addressed that in the beginning. Because Yara Sophia has a very thick accent, and so does Alexis. So a lot of things is hard for them to translate. And also, I feel like, when knowing from experience, I don't know any other. Well, I know another language, but it's not English is my first language, and I have friends that English is not their first language, and it was very hard for them to do stuff like jokes and stuff because it's kind of like the way that our culture in America is. Our wordings is so weird to people. So I just felt like, but then again, the time that it was for All Stars 1, they probably didn't really care, to be honest. So, what else? So, yeah, Rue pretty much doubts everyone. And then you can kind of tell that no one's really he's not really feeling anyone besides Chanel and Chad. And then he kind of thought Latrice was funny, but thought Latrice was someone else. So, and then it was obvious that Team Brown Flowers were going to be in the bottom because Nina's character, Tammy didn't know. Tammy was talking. I guess Tammy writes funny songs, and that's what she thinks her humor just stays at. So she's like, I can write a joke. So we get to the cocktail party. There's 3 parts of this challenge, which I think they should have done this for All Stars, like when they changed the Snatch Game in season 4 in season 11 they changed it too, but I think that's what they should have did for Snatch Game, like this kind of format. And it would be interesting because Snatch Game usually is an even number, to make them do teams and be like, not only do you have to do a Snatch Game character, but you have to make sure your character and their characters interacting like how they would interact. That would be interesting to see. Shad, they did really good. I liked the joke. I didn't write the jokes down. The joke was really great. Latrilla, Latrice was messing up in the beginning, and they showed it, but it was fine. Brown Flowers, it was like, yeah, I very much was, where is the jokes? I literally wrote, where are the jokes? It was kind of like you were waiting for the kind of, like, you waited for the drum to go boom, boom, shh. Like, there was no type of anything in it. Yarlexis, I feel bad for Yara because you can tell that the fact that English is not her first language is the only reason of their kind of problem in this challenge, because they were entertaining. You know, they sold it too, but it was like you can tell that Yara was just very, I can kind of see her being kind of insecure because of the language kind of thing. And then what RuPaul said pretty much was like, you guys need to make sure your delivery is correct. And I was like, oof. And then Rujubee was doing great. They did really, really well. Jujubee's Fran was awesome. And hold on, actually, spoiler alert, I'm gonna give you guys about 10 seconds to exit or to skip, okay? So Jujubee and Alexis is going to be on All Stars 5. And I am so excited for Jujubee because I think Jujubee might actually win this one. I'm really hoping, I'm rooting for Asian Queen to finally win Drag Race because we've had so many great, and I think the robbery of Manila would definitely kind of solidate that maybe. But I already heard rumors of the top 4, top 3. I'm happy with the top 3. I'm not going to do any more spoilers about that, but yeah, and I'm excited to see Alexis Mateo as well because Alexis, I like her personality and I want to see what she will bring to the new Drag Race. That's what's very exciting for it. But yeah, okay, so then we get to the Howdy Roo segment. First of all, the mother that RuPaul had, those joke segments were very, very cringy. Obviously, at this time, he still used a lot of trans jokes and all that stuff. Like shemale, like you got shemale was still a thing, and it was just very ew. So, Rujubee's joke was kind of meh. I wonder if they wrote the joke or if they were told the joke and I think they wrote the joke. And this is why. Because Latrice, you have an African baby. You have an African baby. You have an African baby. No. It was like, I don't know why she was saying that a lot. I get it because Oprah is the you have like that, and she used to do that a lot, and that's what she's known for. But I wouldn't have went for African baby. Yarlexis, I was just like, what? And then I noticed that they skipped Shad and Brown Flowers, which doesn't make sense to me because I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure Shad won this challenge, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, comment down below, but I know they were at least in the top because I remember that, because I'll talk about that in a second. But I really think, actually did I really do think Team Shad won. So that kind of bothers me. And also because Brown Flowers was in the bottom. So it was like, why would you not show people that had placements that mattered? If you were going to show three teams, the three teams we should have saw was Team Shad, Brown Flowers, and Latrilla. Because why would we see only, like, we saw Latrilla, yeah, that makes sense because they had a substantial kind of bottom, but it was like, there's no substantial bottom for the others, you know? So, Root tells this joke. I wrote the joke down because I want to address this joke because this joke was so terrible that I'm just like, I don't know why this joke was told and whoever was in the writing team at this time, but this joke was terrible. He said, "What's the difference between drag queens and transsexuals? $25,000 and a good surgeon." That's not the truth at all. Just letting you guys know, if any of my any of the allies out there is trying to figure out the differences between transsexuals and drag, that's not true at all. I think the difference is, well, one has to do with what you identify as a human being, and one has to do with, and the other one's a costume. Let's start with that. The other, drag is a costume, and don't argue with me about it. Drag is a costume. And another thing is that not that many drag people, especially drag queens, wear stuff that normal women would wear. Yes, there are drag queens that wear stuff that, like, Naomi, Adore Delano very much was wearing a lot of stuff that like normal women would wear, but it's just, that's not all the time. So saying that $25,000 and a good surgeon makes you a transsexual from being a drag queen, yikes. But we already know how RuPaul feels, so why are we surprised? Joke wall. So now we're at the joke wall. Pretty much they have to open the little panels and tell jokes. Team Shad seemed very confident and they were doing really great. Team Yarlexis, Yara was kind of struggling again. It's the language barrier thing that I keep saying, which I think honestly isn't her fault at all, has nothing to do with her, and she should never have felt guilty for it. But I understand how she could have been a little, like, hesitant, but they got into the groove. Latrilla, they were stumbling over each other's lines. Manila was saying what Latrice was supposed to say, and it was just like, oof. Team Rujubi did really good. You can tell that Team Shad and Team Rujubi has, and this is an issue that I'm having with this season, I kind of noticed this, is that Team Shad and Team Rujubi, since they worked together before All-Stars, they have chemistry and they have that, like, knowledge of who's working with who, you know? I would have wished that if they were going to do this, if you're ever watching this, which I doubt, RuPaul's Drag Race people, if you are wanting to do an All-Star season like All-Stars 1, either have them coming in knowing who their partners are, or bring bring a group of girls in that no one knows each other at all. Like, I don't want anyone to be an obvious pair. I want it to be like, none of these girls have obvious pairs, you know? So, and Brown Flowers. I just put, what the fuck? Oops. I was supposed to cuss, but because Tammy, it just seemed very confused and just very and all that, you know, which I get, that's her kind of style, whatever, cool, but it's like, you're not working for yourself, and that's why I feel bad for Nina Flowers, because Nina Flowers very much so seemed like she was taking the challenge seriously, and honestly, I think Nina Flowers would have did decently better without Tammy, which makes me believe that All Stars 4, instead of having Latrilla, should have had, or they should have had All Stars 3 or 2 have the gag of two girls. And it should be, I feel like the next two girls, if you're going to bring anyone from All Stars 1, the next two girls need to be Nina Flowers and Pandora Box. Because them two, I feel like, even though I was bashing on Pandora a lot in the first thing that I was saying, because she did doubt herself a lot, she has evolved. I will say that. So the runway theme this week is 60s glam. Oh, before I want to get into it, this episode had Sahara being mentioned because at the time Manila was dating Sahara. It made me sad because Sahara's now passed, and Sahara actually, fun fact, she was the first lip sync that I saw on TV live, like when RuPaul's Drag Race was airing, the first ever lip sync I seen, and it was the I said, Lord, lift me up. That song was really, and that kind of like, made me really much get into Drag Race. So that was very sad for me, and RIP to Sahara Davenport, the original Davenport of Drag Race. Of Drag Race, saying that because there's a lot of other Davenports. So Tammy Brown's personality, I love her. I feel like RuPaul should bring her, because he's been bringing queens back a lot. I'm sorry, I'm moving a lot. My legs kind of asleep. But he should bring Tammy back. Like, I feel like, not bring her back as a contestant, but bring her back, like, just to have her walk around the workroom. Because I think that would be funny. Like, maybe, like, an improv challenge or, like, something like that. Very much so. Or, like, I don't know, because we're not going to get into that. So, okay, runway. Now I'm into the runway. 60 glam theme. RuPaul's dress. There's these shirts I remember a long time ago that were like airbrushed, and they were like airbrushed tops. Comment down below if you remember this. There's like airbrushed tops with the like rhinestones on it. That's what that's the whole dress. And it looked good, but I was just like, that's what it reminded me of, because I was like, it very much gave me that. Yarlexis. I liked it. It was a really nice look. I did get 60s. I don't think Yara needed that reveal. But I liked it. Latrilla, meh. I mean, well, now I know that you guys can do definitely better than that, but I mean, nah. It was just a sequin tops for you guys. Shad, 60s. Hands down, up, down, left. Actually, Team Shad and Team Rujubi were just 60s, hands down, up, down, left, and right. Team Shad looked like individuals in the 60s, and like they were crossing paths in like two different types of styles in the 60s, but then Team Rujubi looked exactly like they were friends and they're together and they hang out. And I just wanted to know, like, did they own that, or did they make that? Because I seen Latrice making her cuff, but I don't know if they had to make the dress or not, or if if Latrilla, because they've been making accessories, if they're just making accessories to tie their outfits together. Because if they did have to make those all their looks, first of all, there's some sewers, which I don't believe they had to, but if they didn't, if this was a normal season, they would have probably put Rujubi as safe, because they looked exactly the same. Tammy Brown was, okay, first of all, I might not be I'm not older in my age, You know, I'm not even in my 30s or in my late 20s. So I don't know Tina Turner too much, you know? But what I have seen from Tina Turner, I don't think that was Tina Turner. Like, I know the hair was not Tina Turner. And I wasn't expecting you to give us Tina Turner hair. But I don't think that outfit was Tina Turner either. The outfit could have been 60s because, you know, 60s fashion, I'm not exactly 100% like in the know about 60s fashion. I just knew certain, I know, you, obviously the obvious, like, 60s kind of things. But, you know, the dress was, it looked nice. It was a nice outfit. Um, but I, and then Brown, Nina Flowers, she always looks good. She's always been great. Should have won season one instead of BB, but that's neither here or there. So they give, while they're doing critiques, they give us this edit, which kind of annoys me now because obviously now that we're 12 seasons in, technically 14, technically 15 if you count UK as well, where we know that the look edit that they give when like they're on the runway and they give like the ladies like if someone's getting critiques and they're getting positive critiques and they have like the other ladies like look over, those edits are shady because I'm pretty sure that when Yar Lexus was talking, Chad and Latrice, if I'm remembering, it was Chad. I know it was Latrice, but I think it was Chad as well that was looking, and I was just like, I don't think they were looking like that on purpose. Um, the critiques were pretty, I agreed with the critiques, which kind of doesn't make sense to me because I don't agree with the placements. While they were doing the deliberation, I forgot the judge's name, but she's female. She was shading Madonna, and I was like, RuPaul. Well, now looking at it now, RuPaul, how are you gonna let her shade Madonna? But you obviously like Madonna because of the fact that you had literally two runways in two different seasons be a Madonna runway. So Rujubee was low. Which now that I'm thinking about it, I can kind of understand because there was only 5 teams now, which they shouldn't have done that. But I felt like Team Yar Lexus also could have been low instead of them. But then I kind of understood because as a team, Yar Lexus did better. I just kind of liked Rujubee's Runaway a little bit better. So I don't know. And then I still don't understand the Tina Turner. Comment down below if Tammy Brown, Tammy Brown, Tam, oh it is Tammy Brown. I don't know why Tammy Brown actually looked like Tina Turner because to me she didn't. So I forgot the song of the run. I'm okay. Episode 3 we're gonna get better. The lip sync, I agree. Latrice did better, was more entertaining. Tammy did held her own. I don't think either Manila or Nina could have did the song better. So I agree with the choices. And sadly, Team Brown Flowers had to leave. Sorry, I just got a notification. I was reading it. So yeah, I will see you next time. Probably I don't know when I'm going to upload this video, so probably in a day or two I'm going to have episode 3 done because I'm going to write the notes and stuff. I have been enjoying doing this, so comment down below as well if you see this, what else you would like to see me review, if you do want to see me review anything. Bye!